This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Frosta figure, the Ice Empress of Etheria, part of the cartoon collection. On the back of the box, we see that this image is based on the episode Black Snow, modernizing and celebrating the original 80s She-Ra Princess of Power animated series. It's kind of interesting here because when you look at the crystal on her neck in the artwork, it kind of looks like it might be a necklace or just kind of floating between her cleavage, although it is part of her outfit. And of course, you can attach the ice blast effects, and you can twist her into powerful battle positions. Sadly, they did not give her her toy staff, which I think they should have gone ahead and done because, to be perfectly honest, those effects are kind of lame. As part of this wave, we have a Skeletor, the evil lord of destruction. We have Buzz-Off, the heroic spy in the sky, and again, Frosta, the ice empress of Etheria. And again, this is the stupid with what Mattel has been doing with the Masters of the Universe figures. They're only doing 3 in a wave, so now you have to order the figures all separately instead of getting a box unless you want a duplicate of one of them. And of course, as with my complaint of the upcoming wave, they don't give you a duplicate of the one you would want a duplicate of, or the one that would make the most sense. But anyway, let's go and open this sucker up, shall we? We have our little white sheet with all the removable parts. We have our figure. And we have our mini comic. And we are back to that one artist with the really weird face structures. And I have absolutely no idea what is going on in this image right here. But let's go ahead and find out. Wait a minute. Actually, that looks like Demo Man disguising himself as Skeletor, or Skeletor wearing a Demo Man face.
At last, the keep is mine. Find Skeletor.
Across the spirals of Snake Mountain, a maelstrom of ghouls, ghosts, and evil swirls, overtaking its ramparts, the lost souls of Despondos. Abandoned by his own cadre, Skeletor was left to fend for himself in the Forsaken Fortress.
Hello, Skeletor, worry not. Though your henchmen deserted you, I never have.
Now! Dead eyes behold all. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of Castle Grayskull. It will take all of our strength to overcome the odds. Masters, hear my words, for both the fate of Eternia and Etheria are on a razor's edge. You know, I hate the way they do this, because all these look like they're supposed to be spoken by the sorceress, so they should be in bubbles or something, not in narration. While Hordak invades Eternia with the evils of Despondos, the Fright Zone, and his monsters forged in the slime pits, Etheria is besieged by a sinister armada. As told in the mini-comics, Horde Invasion and Slime Lord. Hordak's forces have encircled She-Ra and her crystal castle. Our one stroke of luck is that in his haste to capture Skeletor, he left Etheria. The rift bridging Eternia and Etheria must be reopened. She-Ra needs reinforcements.
Did somebody say they need a magician's touch?
The eldritch evils of Despondos are unleashed against Skeletor. For eons, the apparitions have yearned for a corporal form. A battle between entities rages his soul. Skeletor's body lies in ruin. Tragically, his torture has only begun.
Keldor, my dear pupil, you are without a doubt my greatest regret. On the brink of death, I rescued you, empowered you. I took you in as my own flesh and blood, training you to become a powerful warlord. In Despondos, you left me in exile. You swore an oath to answer my call for aid, one that you betrayed. I saved you. Look at my face. Look at what you wrought. You saved me. You cursed me. What is power but vanity? Why do I seek it? To forget the monster I see in the mirror, the one you created. You're alive because of me. There's no worse disfigurement than death. None but living death. It wasn't you who I betrayed, but myself.
Yeah, they actually show him as Keldor there. I disfigured you to eliminate your vanity, for that is a weakness clearly I failed. Self-pity is a foul cologne. It's time you switched brands. Let's see how pain wears on you.
If you thought your face was mutated, wait for what I carve of your mind. It offers untold dimensions of torture. Into the black night, Hordak unleashed his terrible wrath, and to his shock, it offered him no solace. The causeway between Eternia and Etheria has opened. Sister, She-Ra, we are on our way. Yet hope is never lost. So long as it's fought for, it shall be won. Where did this chick come from? She's holding a staff that looks like the Eternia playset, and it looks like it's a modified She-Ra head on Tila's body. Is that supposed to be the King Grayskull's woman from the mini comic that came with the Eternian playset? Is that who that is? Because she just kind of came out of nowhere. Oh wait, okay. She first appeared with the Trollins, Driel, and whatever that kid with the baseball cap is. I didn't even see her earlier. But again, who is she? Well, setting aside that, let's go ahead and take a look at Frosta. She has got some of the lightest skin tones I've seen in this line. Very pinkish. Head sculpt, not the greatest. Not terrible either, but I feel like her cheeks stand out a little too much for my liking.
I want to point out real quick, it also kind of looks like she's got a more mischievous glint to her eye.
The hair is a solid plastic. I'm bringing that up because the one thing that I will say that I think Classics did right with Frosta was they made her hair somewhat translucent towards the bottom. So it was molded into translucent plastic, painted at the top, and it looked really good, and it fit the character very well. It's kind of too bad they didn't do that here. The thing that Classics did wrong that we got right here is, of course, they actually made her white parts white, where in Classics they did gray because of some excuse of how, oh, the white just looks really plain and, no depth, and it just made it look very generic. Yeah, you guys were a bunch of morons. All right. Articulation-wise, the head is on a ball joint. She can look down. Can't really look up because of the hair. We can turn her head sideways. We can do a 360 with her. Her cape, surprisingly, did not really get in the way of any of that. Arm hinges up and down, as usual, and we can spin. It is a very tight fit on this figure. So it's not an easy spin, but I think that has more to do with the plastic or the figure itself rather than, that's not an issue, so to speak. We do have a single joint in the elbow. Does that weird little back thing that the Cartoon Collection figures do a little bit, but does not do a full 90-degree angle there. We do have a spin at the wrist, and of course we have the pin in the elbow. So we can spin that too instead of a bicep cut. Her right hand is actually coming with up and down articulation, surprisingly. So she is designed to hold her magic sword aloft. I will say, though, the one thing with this is that the paint looks a little off to me on her bracer. I think this would have been a case where it would have been nice if they'd had like a plain arm and then a separate bracer piece that was just in the white plastic, like the boots and stuff. I think that would have looked better. But I don't think they've done that with any of the female figures yet, but I think they should have. Her right hand does have the in and out articulation, however. We do have a spin, except for her dress looks like it's a single piece. We will have to take a better look at that in a moment. If you remember, She-Ra's and Tila's outfits were both, well, I guess Tila didn't actually have a skirt piece, but She-Ra's outfit was cut into two parts, and so was Catra's, wasn't it? No, Catra's I think was one piece also. So, like I said, we'll take a look at that in a moment. But she does have a waist spin. We can kick her leg forward that far. The skirt does interfere a bit. And back a little bit. Again. Actually, in this case, the skirt probably is not really interfering so much as that's as far back as you can go. And I just popped her torso off trying to spread her legs. So she can get a good spread there, but obviously the skirt kind of interferes with the full spread. Thus the popping off of the body. No thigh cut. Single joint at the knee. It does not feel like it's going to break, but it is a very stiff joint in this style figure.
We do have our usual boot cut. She does have the cartoon feet here with the higher heel. We got a hinge and a spin. I don't know. These remind me kind of a specific. In this color, they remind me of a specific kind of a shoe that women have, and I don't know what they're called. But anyway, let's go ahead and pop off her torso here. Okay. And we can take her dress fully off. You know, I think it's kind of funny that they paint on the bustier there. Now, I know they did that because they didn't want to have the whole naked top figures. Like, when Classics did the Ultimate Battleground Tila, you could take her bikini top off and she was fully naked under there. That's what they're trying to avoid with the bustier thing. But I think maybe they should have just painted a bra on her. Cape comes off as well. So you can create workout Frosta here for when she decides that she wants to get pumped. I'm not really a big fan of faceplant. I'm not really a big fan of how they do the painting here. Like, because when you look at the lines here, it is literally just a straight line across, down, around. I think they could have done a better job at least making that look more interesting and proper. Like, if you want to do the bustier thing, why not just go all the way and do a proper bustier for that? But that's my complaint there. I think it would have been nice, though, if they had split the skirt and the top part so that we could have gotten the full articulation. There's also a little bit of an indent here in the dress for the, the back. You know, where the, kind of how the shoulder blades come together down there. And now we have our oh so special blast effects. I'm sure we'll see these on somebody else again later. Oh, look. Aren't those so cool? She has little swirly blue thingies on her hands. Energy blasts of cold. Whee! Yeah, that could have been done better. So my overall thoughts on this figure being that I do like her, generally speaking. She looks pretty good. Head sculpt probably could have been better. I like that they did, of course, give her the darker lipstick. They didn't do the eyeshadow quite as strong as they did in, like, She-Ra, I want to say. But overall, again, she looks pretty good. I wish that the dress was separated into two parts so that you had a separate skirt and torso piece so that you could get her waist articulation proper. The blast effects, though, are just stupid. I mean, yeah, fine, you can display her like this. I would rather have been giving her weapon, you know, her weird little fan staff thing from the toys than these little blast effects. Because if nothing else, at least spinning the little fan thing would have been, you know, a nice little fidget toy. But yeah, I don't think you'll be disappointed in this figure as far as the Princess of Power line goes. And I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you did, feel free to freeze blast that like button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense, you can subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Peace and love. the Ice Empress